What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends Spider-Man Retro Wave Peter Parker, and we're gonna jump right into this because I'm really happy to finally have a Peter Parker figure. The only other one I think that we've seen so far is the one from like a Comic-Con exclusive from a couple years back that Hasbro put out. And I don't think I've ever seen that one in person, actually. It's pretty rare, it's hard to get, it's really expensive at this point. So that's pretty much the only option we have so far for a Peter Parker figure, but now that's changed. We have this one here, and this is awesome. I really like what they did here, but let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. It has the awesome retro packaging, just like the rest of the wave. It's got that really cool Spider-Man logo up here, just like from the old animated series and from the old toy line from the 90s. So that's really cool. Right here we get a look at Peter Parker holding his camera, and with the alternate head that kind of shows off his spider sense, so that is really dope. On the back we get a look at all the other figures in the wave. We have a biography that's one sentence. Peter Parker is the college student and photojournalist who is secretly the amazing Spider-Man. Just one sentence for the legend Peter Parker. I guess, I mean, we all know what's up with Spider-Man already, but that just cracks me up all the time. And then right here, it shows us how we could swap out the heads. And up here, we have another look at Spider-Man with the spider sense going, so that's cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at this figure. So here we have Peter Parker right out of the packaging, and I think this is a pretty cool figure, but to be honest with you, there's really not a whole lot going on with it. I'm just excited to finally have a good Peter Parker figure for my Spider-Man shelf. So, you know, I'm kind of pumped up about this figure, even though it's not the most exciting thing ever. Originally, I thought that it was an entirely brand new sculpt, but it turns out that Pete here shares a bunch of parts with the Stan Lee figure that we saw earlier this year. The only differences between these two figures is the feet, the hands, and the head sculpt. Aside from that, the sculpts of the body are exactly the same, but I think they did a good job making them different colors and making them feel different, so that's cool. I really don't mind reuse when it works, and I think in this case it worked out fine, and it made for a really good Peter Parker figure. Check him out. I think that jacket looks perfect for him, and the pants, the shirt, everything about it looks good. One thing that I'm kind of torn on is this head. I'm not sure. I mean, I like it. And now, you know what? At first, I wasn't really sure what they were going for with these glasses, because initially I thought they were trying to go for like an animated look. But then I remembered that Peter Parker didn't really wear his glasses that often in the animated series from the 90s. I'm sure there was plenty of scenes where he had them on, but it wasn't like he was always wearing them. And then on top of that, this head sculpt doesn't really feel like it's based on the animated series anyways. So I was like, man, what were they going for? And now that I think about it, I think what they were trying to do here was imitate comic book art, you know, or at least how the glasses looked in the comic book. And I could appreciate that, but I still really don't like the way that it looks, you know. Well, actually, let me correct myself. I don't like that this is the only option we have with this head, because these glasses are not removable. If they were removable, I would have been happy with this, and I would have appreciated what they were trying to do here. But as it is, it's kind of just like a bummer, because this is a cool Peter Parker head sculpt, but these glasses are stuck on here. They really should have made them removable. And check it out, like when you bring him up, you can see that he actually has eyes painted under the glasses. So, you know, I don't know why they decided to make it to where you can't remove them. But again, I could appreciate that they were trying to go for some like comic book art effect, you know, that's pretty cool. But yeah, aside from that, I think it's a good looking figure. But you know, while we have him here, let's try a couple of head swaps. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, I don't have the unmasked Peter Parker head from either one of the 2-packs. But I do have the Jamie Madrox head that kind of works for Peter Parker, in my opinion. But that looks good. Look at that. But man, having this figure really makes me want to go back and get the Craven 2-pack with the black suit Spider-Man that had the battle damage head, and even the 2-pack with Spider-Man and Mary Jane. I skipped out on that one because I didn't think the Mary Jane figure looked very good, and you know, I didn't want to pay like $45 or whatever it was to get just the unmasked Peter Parker head. Basically, that would have been the only reason I was buying that 2-pack. So I never did it. But anyways, here we are with the Madrox head, and I think it works out pretty good. So I don't mind using that for Peter Parker, but I do have to get a proper unmasked Peter Parker head. I do have the bearded one, but for whatever reason, this one has a hard time, there we go, getting on the ball peg there. But that looks kind of cool. Like an older Peter Parker hanging out doing his thing. Yeah, I think that works out pretty good. It's always cool to have like bodies in civilian clothes, because you could do all kinds of different stuff with it. On top of just representing the casual version of your favorite characters, you know. You could definitely use these in the background just for like street shots or whatever. So I like it. I think this looks good. So as I was messing around with the figure, his glasses actually came off on me. But it's okay because I can put them right back on without any problem. But as you can see, the glasses actually have these little hooks that kind of keep them in place. So it's kind of cool because I could just take them off and put them back on as I please, and they're not going to fall off or anything like that. So that worked out for me, but they're not supposed to come off. And I went ahead and grabbed the glasses that came with Gray Beast, and I actually really like the way this looks. It's definitely like a nerdy Peter Parker, but they will not stay on. Oh, I mean, they kind of stay on right there, but you can see from the side they look kind of funny. And hey, oh, there they go. Yeah, they fell off. But if you could make that work, that would be like a perfectly like accurate nerdy Peter Parker. Yeah, see, these things are kind of a pain. I was kind of hoping that they would just kind of fit right into like the cutout where in his hair where the other glasses kind of just slide right in, but that's not the case. So you'd have to probably work something out. And taking a very quick close look at the details on this figure, starting off at the head, I do think this is a pretty nice looking Peter Parker head sculpt. As I said, the glasses are kind of weird, but it's cool that if you lift them up, you could see that his eyes are actually painted. You don't have to worry about them being like a creepy flesh color. So if you do decide to take the glasses off, you don't have to worry about repainting his eyes. So that's a good thing. But yeah, this is a good looking Peter Parker head sculpt. And then moving on into the body here, there's not a whole lot of paint. Everything is pretty much molded in the color that it needs to be. I do wish that they added some paint to the shirt here. They could have painted the buttons and maybe added a wash, and that would have made it look a little bit better. But as is, you know, I'm not too mad at it. It looks okay. And the jacket looks nice. There's a lot of creases and stuff on there that all look really good. There is a little bit of paint right there. The belt buckle is painted, so that's a good thing. And aside from that, you know, it's nothing new. We've seen like these types of bodies before from Marvel Legends, but I think it works good for Peter Parker. And then here's a quick look at his Spidey Sense head, and this is pretty cool. This is definitely a throwback to one of the old action figures, so I do like that a lot. One thing I'm not crazy about is the transition between the mask and the unmasked part, because it doesn't look as clean as it could have. I wish they just had a black line going down there, and I think that would have looked a little bit better, because as you can see right now, from red to flesh tone, it gets a little sloppy in there. But I do think this looks very cool, and I like the fact that they did that. So this is a pretty awesome head sculpt. And the only other accessory that he comes with aside from the alternate head is his camera. And this is pretty nice too. I like the sculpting work on it. You can see that we have a flash on the top. You can see the lens here in front. And not a whole lot of sculpting work, but enough, you know, so I'm happy with it. On this side, there's not a whole lot going on, but it definitely has the feel of like an old school camera. So this is cool. And he has no problem holding it at all, which is a good thing. And just in case Pete runs into trouble and doesn't have time to put on his full costume, you are able to pop a Spider-Man head onto this neck, and you could throw on some Spider-Man hands onto these arms. So this is kind of fun too. It gives you some more options of what you could do with this Peter Parker body. So this is dope. And for a couple of quick size comparisons, here we have Peter Parker alongside the Retro Wave Marvel Legends Spider-Man and the Mafex comic book Spider-Man. And then next up, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Hobgoblin and Marvel Legends Mysterio. Here we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Venom and the Mafex Venom. And then now we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Stan Lee and the Marvel Legends Everett Ross. And then last but not least, we have Peter Parker alongside Pizza Spider-Man and Bucky Cap. And now for the articulation, I know that this is basically just a dude in like casual clothing, so I really can't expect all that much articulation. But at the same time, it is Peter Parker, so I do hope to get him into some cool poses. But let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the head. His head is on a little ball joint, so it does go side to side. He can look up to about right there. And the collar doesn't really get in the way because it kind of gets tucked under the head, so that's pretty cool. And then he could look down to about right there. And then he does have an ab crunch, which crunches forward to right there, which is pretty decent. It's not like the best ever, but it's okay. Look at that. That's pretty good. And then he does have a waist swivel. And then for the arms, we have ball jointed shoulders that do go all the way around. They come out to the side a really nice amount. That's pretty good. And then we have upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which even though it's a guy wearing a jacket, he actually has a pretty nice bend at the elbow. Pretty good there. And then we have a swivel at the wrist. And then on the right hand, we have the vertical hinging wrist. So that is awesome. So that could help you get him into like photography type of poses. And then on the opposite side, we have the traditional regular style hinge here. But it's really tight. A lot of the joints on this figure were really, really tight. But there's also a swivel on this side. So yeah. Good stuff at the hands. I really like that they gave him that vertical hinge. That's dope. And then for the legs, He does kick forward to about right there, which is pretty good. Comes back only to about right there, then it kind of goes out to the side. He can't really do the splits. That's about as far as it's going to go. And then he has upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee, which gets a pretty decent bend. And he has a swivel. Does he have a swivel at the foot? Oh no, he doesn't. That's kind of weird. Yeah, that's weird. I thought this body had like a swivel at the foot, but I guess not. Okay, that kind of sucks. Not a huge deal, I guess. But the foot does have rocking ankles. It could go forward a really nice amount, but then the shoe kind of covers the pant leg kind of awkwardly. And then you could bring them up to about right there. And yeah, that's a trip that there's not the swivel in there. Kind of strange. But yeah, articulation's okay. So I don't know. I mean, we're not really going to get him into like a bunch of Spider-Man type of poses. But you could probably get some things going, you know, if you want to kind of do things. But, you know, realistically, it'd be hard for Spider-Man to to do his thing in this type of clothing anyways. But still, I was kind of hoping that he can at least get into like a crouching position. That would have been cool. But, you know, it's fine. I'm not upset with the articulation on this guy at all. I think it works fine for this body.
Alright guys, so overall, even though it's not the most exciting figure ever, I still really like it, and I'm very happy to finally have a good 6-inch Peter Parker figure for my collection. That's something that I've wanted for a long time, and it's something that a lot of collectors have wanted for a long time, so it's really cool that Hasbro finally came along and delivered. As far as the figure itself, you know, there's not a whole lot going on. It has like the standard Marvel Legends articulation setup, and it's a reuse from the Stan Lee body, so if you already have the Stan Lee figure, then you know exactly what to expect with this guy. It would have been cool if they found a way to sneak in just a little bit more articulation, but you know, it's basically just a repaint of Stan Lee, so I get it, and it works, so I'm not mad at it. And as far as the accessories go, I do like what he comes with. The camera's really cool. I like the fact that he comes with that Spider Sense head, but I really wish that he came with just a regular Peter Parker head without the glasses, because I do appreciate what they were trying to go for with the glasses, giving him that old comic book look. I think that's really cool, but it kind of sucks that it's like a permanent thing. They should have either given us an extra Peter Parker head that doesn't have the glasses, or made the glasses removable on purpose and not by accident, like what happened with mine. It's not a big deal now because mine came off and I could take them off as I want, but it would have been cool if it came like that out of the box. But I think it would have been the best if they just included another just straight up Peter Parker head. I think that would have been the way to go. But yeah, like I said, not the most exciting thing ever, but he is cool, and I'm very happy to finally have a good Peter Parker figure. And I really hope that Hasbro continues down this road and gives us a couple more figures in their casual clothes. Like, I would really like to see a Wolverine in his street clothes based on the animated series. I think that'd be awesome. But you know, aside from that, who else would be cool to see in their street clothes? I think Peter Parker and Wolverine were probably like the main two. Maybe like Tony Stark. I think that'd be cool too. But let me know if there's any other like heroes that you'd want to see in their casual clothes, but I'm sure there's other ones out there. Ooh, Captain America. I'd always be down for a Captain America in any form. So in casual clothes Captain America, yeah, for sure, sign me up. But anyways, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you very much. Peace.